If you are an XRP holder or you've been looking into XRP, make sure you watch this video all the way through, as I think we've got something pretty important to discuss. And for the most part, it has to do with what's going on with XRP in the back end of things. I, of course, am noticing everything that's going on Twitter, everything that's going on in the development and all the sentiment, basically everything, right? And I always like to give you guys a update every now and then about what I think the status is of XRP, as again, it's a large part of my portfolio. And I think for a lot of you guys too. So just to not waste anybody's time, the status is this. There's a massive amount of fear, but the underlying thoughts in my head are, it's still pretty undervalued based on the course of Bitcoin, basically that the bull market is starting, altcoins are starting to pump, XRP is pretty behind on some previous pumps, and so I think it's gonna basically outperform almost any other altcoin. And so the FUD, so the fear over on Twitter, it partially stems from people saying, no, XRP is not performing as well as some of this coin or that coin like Solana. And on the opposite side, there's people saying, well, where are the advancements? Where are the crazy partnerships? Where are the crazy new things? You see, Ripple gave up this, that, this, that. And one thing I'll tell you guys quickly is I've left a link down below. I'll tell you again, it's not sponsored, but I think it's wise. And it's a link to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. It's a company basically, or a platform where you can buy pre-IPO stocks like Ripple stock. And very often the discussions I have are people saying, well, XRP, yada, yada, but it's Ripple. Just buy Ripple stock and now you have the best of both worlds. If you use the link down below though, you get $500. I didn't know that. So I never use the link down below. I never put it there. I sometimes talk about this platform, but apparently you get $500 for free if somebody sent you to their platform. So the link for that is down below. Most guys in the XP community talk about it, and I never knew why, but I think it's pretty nice to get $500 for free. Besides the point. As I was saying, the fear has a lot to do with Ripple and people saying the XRP mission is not as strong as it used to be. Matter of fact, I just looked at the discussion over on Twitter about AMM, automated market making basically on the XP ledger, and people asked, is it going to change the value proposition of XRP? 𝗕𝗃, another YouTuber, asked, is it going to change the tokenomics? And then the answer was no, XRP for the most part was a gas token and for account reserves, etc. And people went hammering in on that again to basically state, oh, you see, this was the true vision of XRP all along, to be a stablecoin sort of. Let's skip every single person that has these negative thoughts. And let's just come back to one thing. And this is the most important thing I can ever tell you. It doesn't matter how many people are against whatever you have invested in. It doesn't matter. All these negative sides are worth considering, which is why I always take a look, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, from a certain perspective, it doesn't really matter what Ripple's true vision is, because I, at the end of the day, think you can never see inside their brains. You will never know why exactly they're doing things, even if they're telling you one thing on the front end. Meaning, even if Ripple makes their mission and their purposes very clear, they could always be hiding the truth. We're going to, however, look at their actions. And what we're seeing is they're actively trying to make XRP as big as possible. But on the opposite side, there are so many other parties working on growing the XRP ledger. And I can go into more detail about why there are way more good sides in that sense than bad. But let's just take it at face value here, that a lot of the FUD is just not properly backed up. Or it's people who have something negative to say about anything. I mean, let's again hypothesize here. Which crypto, or not, I can't even call it hypothesis. Let's just think, which crypto does not have a negative side? Leave one down below, because I'll be able to think of some negative things about that. Bitcoin, it's freaking slow as shit. Ethereum, it's the biggest platform out there. So much volume. But again, pretty slow, pretty expensive. Solana, well, FTX has a massive amount of it, so that's pretty scary. Or again, you might pick another crypto. You might could say, oh, it's very much institutionally backed. But that's, again, a good side and a bad side. The good side being it will probably get easier exchange listings, it has more money to fund things. The negative side there being there's more selling pressure as institutions want money. But then again, if you look at a fully community-backed project, you might say, well, the negative side is they're not going to get anywhere. You know, it's very low market cap, very high risk, almost no volume, no institutional presence, so it's going to get nowhere. And so again, to every one of these points that people make, there's always two sides. And I've been in crypto long enough where I just go with one easy philosophy, and this is the easiest one to remember. Look at the value proposition. Look at why you're buying this crypto or buying this asset, even a stock for that matter. think of, and really write this down. I always say that, write this down. What return you're expecting and why. And if that's it, that's enough. I mean, you guys are all sane enough, every single one of you, to understand that every crypto has some negative sides. But I even have a little nudge. Something's telling me that the ones that are being fudded the most, but that are still at the top of the top, that they've got something. They've got the edge where people go out of their way to comment negative things about it, but it's still at the top of the top. That sometimes to me shows that we're onto something when everybody's hating on it. And I will remind you guys of one thing. Back in 2017, you know, the most hated crypto out there, I believe, was XRP. Yes, I was making videos about it back then too, when it went from whatever cents, like half a cent or so, to a couple dollars in such a snap. Even at the top of the top, people were hating on it all the way through. But I'll tell you that as the price pumped, a lot of people changed their minds. This, whatever you're seeing right here, this fear, is just because people are frustrated with not seeing enough gains. Now, an easy rebuttal could be that the price has almost doubled this year. So anybody that put in $1 has now got $2. Anybody putting in $10,000 has now got $20,000, basically. But again, it's all relative, right? Because this is not what you really want. You want some massive, massive gains. And Solana has gone up 140% this month. Avalanche has gone up 140% this month. Why hasn't XRP done that? Caspa has gone up 170%. Or here, Thorchain has gone up 300%. And the simplest thing I can tell you yet again is everything comes at its own pace. You will see that once the next phase, I'm going to call it, of the bull market starts, most of these coins here will just go up 40%, 50%, 60% in a day anyway. And so some just have a head start. Some just get some either crazy announcements or some crazy hype up front, which makes them perform a little bit better, like your Avalanche, like your Solana right now, and a couple of others. But most of them will probably see similar sort of gains over time if they do not get a crazy outlier in terms of partnerships or announcements. And for the most part, people that are so vocal, I think, are just greedy and impatient, and for the most part, just as I said, dissatisfied. Perhaps they've got nothing else to look at, only one investment, and they don't have don't feel the longevity. But I guess if you're as certain as I am in the investment, then these things are just a lot easier because you understand the process. You understand that the halving cycle is going to come around. What's going to happen is the Bitcoin mining reward goes down. It basically halves. People understand that now Bitcoin come onto the market a lot slower and that eventually there will only be 21 million. And for that reason, they decide to buy some Bitcoin. But hey, the moment you get into Bitcoin, you think of, hey, what else can I buy? What else is going to get me more gains? And so you look for some of those big, easy caps to get into. But then you notice, hey, buying these cryptos is easy. And I notice there's a lot of others that are doing even better. How can I get into those? That's how you get into lower and lower and lower caps. And that's the cycle. Sometimes though, right, in the midst of that, some altcoins do a little bit better. Yeah, it's the truth. Very often it's based upon some outlier partnerships, some outlier announcements, or just proper marketing from those guys. You have to understand one more thing. This is something that most guys will not tell you, but do you know that even a bigger project as Solana can pump their own price by 10, 20% if they want to? XRP, right? If the guys at Ripple, for example, really want to, they can pump or dump the price by 20, 40 even. That's more difficult, but they could pump or dump the price by 40% if they wanted to. It'll be a very expensive endeavor. It'll probably not have a good purpose, but they could. You have to understand that the whole market, this whole crypto market, is a game of making money. There are, whatever happens in crypto space, people making money. And another thing I should add here. No, two things. One is, so if the price goes up or down, people are always making money, and every single move for the most part is calculated because for every single dollar you sell, there's somebody buying it. So whenever you've lost faith, there's somebody who knows to basically buy your bags. On the opposite side too, if you're thinking, let's freaking go, there might be a big institution who knows that if they put just enough pressure, a lot of other people will sell. So they're dumping their bags. This is what we talked about earlier with some of the big VCs and market makers, like for example, DWF Labs with their manipulation of some coins. We'll talk about that a lot more as the bull market comes back harder, as there's going to be more and more of those situations where you can find some big parties who are doing a certain tactic over and over again because it just works. And these guys are raking in hundreds of millions of dollars in the process. I will add again that yes, indeed, it's that much money. There are 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds who will rake in tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars this year alone, starting with absolutely nothing. I've seen it, guys. I know so many people around 20 years old that have tens of millions of dollars. You might look at this video and think this guy's talking bullocks. But the thing is, most people don't understand money until you've seen it. If I ask you now, how do you make $1 million a day? A lot of people don't know. And I tell you now, I know multiple people, not who make it every single day. Unfortunately, times are not that good, but who make $1 million days, profit, just as a one-person company. And you're thinking to yourself, really? Are people doing that? I never knew that before. Some guy I walked up to, he said his best day is $3.5 million in a day. I'm like, what? Because you got to think about it. Not investments. I'm talking about just profit from their business. I'm thinking, whoa. And that's when you start thinking those rich lists, those Forbes lists, they don't know anything, man. 1,700 billionaires or 1,800 on that list? I think there's at least 10 times as many out there because it's really hard to know how much money people are making until you're in some different circles. Anyway, and another point I was trying to make, I said just now that I will make 2 points. The other one is that people are very often dissatisfied with small moves. And what I've got to say about that is, first of all, you can use leverage to your advantage, which would mean that right now, if the price is pumped 20%, if you had a 10x leverage position, you'd be up 200% or, or 20 or 100%, depending on how much leverage you use and how much the market went up. Just, it could be multiplied by a ton. There are people right now, as I said just now, my little story about making money, who only need a 4-cent move to make $10 million. If you play the game smart, like we saw with the XRP ETF situation, you only needed to move a little bit to just be done for life. Again, this is, of course, needing more money or more risk, one of the two. But at the end of the day, making money is all about having money anyway. That's why I always tell people, if you only got $10 to invest in crypto, that type of stuff, I would personally go all risky, full on risk, because, well, if you invested in Bitcoin, you might double it in the next year. It's not too crazy. It's not going to change most people's lives, right? But if you go crazy risky, you might lose it all. You've got nothing. But at least there's a possibility of just getting a crazy multiplier. If you're not one of the guys that can just retire off of a 5x or a, like we often talk about, XRP going to $25. If you're not set when XRP goes to $25, you have to really watch these things more carefully and you have to strategize more properly, because that means you've got some work to do, my friend. That means XRP alone is probably not the best course of action. You're probably going to have to supplement it with a lot of coins that have a higher risk profile, but that also have more pump potential. It's going to be a lot more work, a lot scarier of a night, but at least then I think you'd be satisfied if it does work out. Because again, I keep saying 60 cents to $25 would be amazing. I'd throw the biggest party in the world. Okay, maybe not that, but I'd go absolutely haywire if XRP goes to 25 bucks. I'd be so happy and wow, just it would be insane. But a lot of people wouldn't be. A lot of people aren't. And my best piece of advice is just go harder on the grind then. Don't complain, but make sure you'd be good if it goes to $25. Not like retire all the way through, but at least satisfied. Or as I said, you even have these 3x leveraged positions on things like Bybit, for example, where every single one you buy, it's basically 3 times. Meaning if you have $10,000 now and you buy this leveraged position, it has no stop loss fees, so it's just basically 3 times the amount of volatility. If you buy $10,000, you have $30,000 worth, but obviously too, that if the price goes down, your price is going down significantly harder. 3 times as hard even, but that's another thing to look into. For example, these leveraged coins with no particular liquidation point, that might be something nice. Or yeah, like you can see right here, for example, this garbage, all 3 of them. But this type of garbage is what I get into very often in the bull market. And even right now, we're just looking into it every single day. All these garbage ass coins I'm looking into. It's not for fun. It's not because I like it. It's because it just does well in a bull market. And so I'd say, join Discord. Number 1 thing. If you are in the grind mode, join Discord, have some people to talk to, and I'm building a group, but it's not there yet because I don't know the best way to do it. I keep on testing Discord. I think it's the best way to go, but as I've said many times before, if you have a group that nobody paid to get into, nobody has to put effort in to get into, most people do not want to provide for free. And that's why I keep thinking perhaps I should make a more exclusive group where you either have to go through some steps or have to pay to get in, with the main purpose of just everybody having a goal to work a lot harder. I am a very big advocate of charging for things. I've never really sold anything actually, but I'm a very big advocate of charging for things to make people appreciate it more. Let's hypothesize I gave something away for free in the link down below. A lot of people will be like, But if they pay for it, they're gonna be a lot more eager. This I notice with myself too. If I pay for something, I'm a lot more thoughtful of it. I'd like to finish it more than if I just got it for free. Whatever. It's a discussion for a different day. That's what's going on with XRP right now. A lot of fear. A lot of people are BSing, but it doesn't matter. This happens every single time. We're just holding through. I think our investments are pretty solid, and I still believe in the $25 in XRP mission. But yeah, I'll catch you guys again, another update pretty soon. And some people hate these blah blah videos, but I just want to share with you guys all the knowledge I've got because I know it works. It's a proven track record because I think 99.9% of the people here have not got as much investing experience as I have, and so I think it's worth sharing. But I also understand if you'd like to get more news. But yeah, that's about it.